Hey everyone, happy Sunday. Hope you're having a great weekend. It is about 45, 50 degrees out today, and it's really nice temperature for Indiana weather. And it's certainly a nice change of the temperature considering just a couple of days ago it was pretty much negative 30. So it's been nice, and I don't know if you can see behind me, but the snow is pretty much melting, so it looks like spring is pretty much around the corner, which would be nice. I'm kind of done with winter and cold weather. And so, yeah, as you can see, today's outfit, I decided to wear one of my floral ties. I'm a huge fan of the ties, just in general, the flower patterns and such. So, thought I'd wear this for today's occasion since it is very nice out today, and hope that, wherever you are with the weather, that you are enjoying it or taking advantage of it. In today's video, I wanted to share just a couple more things about myself and sort of what I do. This is the sort of video where, I just talk to you, and I just sort of, I don't like go on in terms of ranting, but like I just really sort of just really talk about some things that, on Instagram or even, on other social media sites, I don't really writing it in words and putting it into captions. Sometimes I can't always articulate, and I can't always just explain some ideas and just things about me. So this is one of those videos where I just pretty much just talk to you, and again, if you have any questions, feel free to send it my way. More than happy to answer any of the questions via just on email or messaging, or even through these types of videos. So let's begin. The first thing that I guess I wanted to talk about to you today in this video is I want to talk a little bit more about social media, because I know that in my other video where I was talking about it, I feel like I touched upon a couple of different aspects about social media that I think are very important, especially in terms of the day and the times that we're living in today's society with social media. And I think the first thing that I want to talk about in regards to social media is responsibility. Now, for most of you, you probably have social media, so this might be common knowledge and common sense, but I really feel like lately in the past couple of years, and even in fact most recently with just everything that's going on, I feel like there's a sort of a loss. It seems like people don't really necessarily want to take responsibility. I think that for some people, I think they use social media as a way to sort of get out, or sort of just let out some of their emotions or ideas without, I think, fully understanding or realizing the platform and space that is social media. We live in a digital age, and that's something that is just going to continue to happen as we continue on. And I think that it's very important that people just understand that as we move towards a digital sort of world and society, that it's important to realize that there comes a responsibility with that. Now, what exactly am I meaning in regards to social media? Well, I think it's a responsibility of an individual to realize that if they're going to tweet out something, or if they're going to post something, or share a video, I think that they have to understand that the internet is it's very unpredictable, and anyone can say anything on it, and who's to say that that's technically right or technically wrong. I mean, in some ways, yes, we do as humans have a little bit of control in terms of judgment and sort of steering what is acceptable and what is sort of respectable, I guess. But at the same time, I mean, who's to say? I mean, like, if you get a group of people that want to say something that's maybe not very respectful, I mean, but they have enough of an influence, or they have enough of a presence on social media, I mean, who's to stop them? Because as far as I'm concerned, these really huge tech companies and social media websites, I think they're geared so much in terms of business at this point that user experience and the individual is I think that is sort of being lost in that. So I think it's important to just realize that with whatever we put out there on social media, that it does send a message as to who we are as an individual. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't post anything, because I certainly do, and you have every right to. I'm just saying that it's good every once in a while to, I guess, take a step back and just to sort of think about what it is you're doing on social media. I've said this many times, and I will continue to say this because it is my truth to who I am, and that is that before anything else, I want to make sure that I'm being honest with myself before social media, before whatever it is. Recently I made a decision to stop working with so many different companies. I'm really sort of in a mindset of long-term relationships and partnerships that honestly I envision, and I'm planning to where I can work with some of these companies for not just a year or so, but 5 to 10 years and even longer. That's the sort of mindset that I'm in right now. And I know that it's very tempting. We live in a day of age where especially for me as a social media influencer, and as someone who does have a responsibility to make sure that I'm representing brands and representing myself in a very honest manner, it's very important that someone doesn't just use social media for a short-term benefit, or to get a quick paycheck or whatnot. That's not why I started doing social media in the first place. Now I do understand that influencer marketing, and I am sort of in that industry. It is definitely expanding, and I think it's predicted in 2020 that influencer marketing is going to account for about $5 to $10 billion in terms of advertising from companies. So there's definitely a lot of room and a lot of space, and a space to make money and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I realized that that's not why I use social media. And I don't think that, I think that people who use social media with that mindset of, oh, I just want to make money, or I just want this lifestyle, or I want to be this sort of, fast online entrepreneur, or I want to sell this. I think that it's just important for those people to take a step back and to realize that, if you're going to do anything in terms of business, realize that it's a very difficult thing to do. I mean, I don't know what the exact statistics are for it, but I mean, there's a reason why very few businesses, succeed. It's because it's not easy, and this internet is not always, it's not always going to be your ally, and sometimes it can actually work against you, even if you think that, you're sort of getting ahead. So, it's good for me to sort of, every now and then take a step back and just sort of think about, why is it that I'm using social media? And, am I being honest with myself, with the content and with what I say and what I post, in the videos that I put out? Am I representing myself in the most honest manner that I can? Now, I totally understand that the internet and social media is its own beast. Like I said, it's very unpredictable. It feels like, once you think you sort of get an understanding of how it operates, another thing happens, and it's back to not knowing again. So for me, I use social media because it's a platform, it's a means for me to express myself. And, I've come to just a point and realization in my life where I want to be able to continue to express my life and express my ideas and thoughts that I have and things that I'm passionate about in terms of like my music, and things that I like too. Yes, I'm a huge fan, and I'm very passionate about clothing and style. I just have that passion for it. But I also realize that that's not 100% of who I am, and that showing just me and my style, that's not, I just feel like not that I'm lying, but I just feel like I'm not showing the complete picture of who I am. And I would never want someone to just think of me from social media and think, oh, he's just someone who wears nice clothing or has good style. I mean, yes, those are nice traits, and I tend to think of it as kind of like almost like a bonus, you know. But I also know that, you know, I am so much more than just someone who wears clothing that's nice and whatnot. And I think I've begun to really express this specifically on Instagram, and I'm really excited to share this specifically with video now. But you know, clothing for me it's a tool, it's a means, it's a way to communicate something more, something else. Clothing for me is not the end game. You know, I don't wear nice clothing so I can get attention, or you know, so that I can get you know, so that I can be named like super stylish. Again, I think that's a bonus. You know, I wear clothing like this, you know, more fancy, formal clothing, because it represents who I am, and it helps get me to where I want to go in life. And I just think it's important to address that, because I think especially in the, you know, influencer industry and the fashion industry and world, it's very easy for us to make very quick judgments and assumptions about other people, just, you know, if they wear this sort of style of clothing, or if they wear that, you know what I mean? So I just think it's important to say that, and specifically, you know, about what clothing means to me. So there's that aspect, and I've probably gone off topic a little bit from the whole responsibility thing. But the second thing that I guess I wanted to talk about to you today is a little bit about my music. Now, for those of you, I'm just going to provide this information for those of you who don't know, but basically I am a classical pianist as well as a jazz pianist and improviser. I've been playing piano since I was around the age of 10, 11, and I am currently studying at a college in piano performance. So music is definitely something very close to who I am, and it's been something very, I think, integral to my journey in my life, and just in terms of it's influenced me and shaped me so much in who I am, that I think that I don't realize it at times just how much of an influence music has been in my life. And you know, I think that, you know, I'm at a point where I feel like I'm ready to be able to share more of my music and to explain and express what I think music can do to not just myself, but to other people and to the greater context of society. I really do believe that music is one of the very few things in this world that I think can actually change the world for good. And that's what I feel called to do, you know. And you know, I'm not pursuing music because, you know, I want to be some famous, you know, musician, or that, you know, somehow I want to, you know, even make a living, you know, money-wise. I do it because I couldn't see myself doing anything else. And I think that in terms of, you know, your passion, or, you know, your meaning or purpose, you know, whatever that is in life, I think that, you know, you, at the end of the day, only you will know what that is. You know, none of my friends, none of my family members, you know, they didn't tell me that, oh, I'm supposed to do music and I have to do music. It's something that I fell in love with, and I realized that through music I got to understand and realize who exactly I am. And you know, I think that once you realize that in life, when you truly discover, you know, I think your meaning and your sense of value and purpose in life, I think that the sky's the limit in terms of the possibilities. And I think that, you know, for a lot of times we can sort of think down, you know, sometimes we are our own worst critic, and I'm even guilty of that. And, you know, sometimes we think that, you know, we're not good enough, or, you know, we're not better than this person, or, you know, whatnot. All of these different factors and variables, and just, you know, thoughts that sort of prevent us from actually realizing and, you know, living out our potential. I just encourage you, if you haven't discovered um, your sense of purpose in life, number one, there's no shame, and there should be no guilt in that. It doesn't matter what age, because I realize that all of us, each and every day that we exist, and when we go about life, all of us are on completely different points on this journey in life, and I think the last thing that I would ever want to do is to prevent someone from walking their own path in life. Um, I think that each and every one of us is unique, and I really believe that, and I think that a lot of what is happening today in terms of the societal issues has really divided us. You can just probably just feel it every time you get on social media, that there is, things tend to be very extreme. But I think that this is also a very important opportunity and time in our lives where we have the opportunity to really stand up and to say the truth, and to speak up about things, and to bring about things that maybe we have as humans have never even addressed, such as mental illness. I think that we are definitely living in a very transitional and very important time, I think. And so I think in terms of discovering who you are and finding your meaning, I just encourage you to realize that that there's so much in life, and I feel, as 20 years old, I feel like I've just begun, and I still feel like a kid inside, and I hope that I can continue to think and feel and act like when I was young. I hope I can feel that for as long as I can, because I think that a lot of society tries to say the opposite. It forces us in a way to act like an adult, and that we have to be unimaginative, and we have to confine to all of these social norms and all of these just things. But at the end of the day, if that's not you, if that's not what makes you wake up in the morning with a sense of passion and discovery and meaning, then I encourage you, don't follow that, because as far as I'm concerned, society I don't think it's really wrapped its head around and understood just how complex this is, and I don't think it's chasing the right thing that we want out of life. There's so many things that we can chase in life, whether that's happiness, whether that's a sense of fulfillment or satisfaction, or whether that's just to live about a normal life and to go about quietly. That just whatever it is that we do in life, that hopefully that it can bring us closer to what it is that we actually want out of life. And I hope that we can get to a point where you and me as an individual can really sort of realize our potential and to chase after it. We only have one life, and before I know it, I'm gonna be gone. And so I want to make sure that whatever it is that I do, whatever it is that I leave behind, that it sends a message of, encouragement, or some sort of, it sends something that life truly has meaning, and that there's meaning to everything, even especially to you, even if you don't see that, or even if you don't believe that right now. There's always something to be grateful for, and there's always something magical, something beautiful about life. And that's why, for me, I feel very, not that I necessarily always feel happy, because I don't, because I believe that's a choice, but I feel very positive, and I feel very grateful, which is why again and again I keep saying this on social media, but I do have a profound sense of just acceptance and gratefulness for my life, not just with the opportunities and circumstances and all of the things that have come my way in life, but just because of the simple fact that I feel like I've found, in a sense, of what it is that I really want to pursue in life. And that realization and that acceptance and understanding, it makes me look at all of these negative things not necessarily as just issues, but I see it as opportunities, and I see it as ways that we as humans can grow closer to one another. Now, I know that there's a lot of societal issues, and I'll probably, obviously talk more about some of these in future videos. I know that there's a lot of these issues that seems to divide us and seems to make us, even want to hate one another simply off of a difference of opinion. I see this time honestly as an opportunity for us to come closer. And I know that society will do its best, and it's doing a pretty good job right now, but it'll do its best to divide us and to make us, honestly, to hate each other. I see it differently. I mean, of course, the issue is still, that's the reality of today. We still have these issues. But I see this situation in a different light. I see it as an opportunity for us to really, it's a moment in our time when we can actually sort of really begin to talk about these issues and really discuss them, rather than just sort of, shout back from the sideline without having any real meaningful discussion or conversation. So that's my 2 cents on that. And yeah, again, I just wanted to share that with you. Sun's going down, and yeah, people are sort of walking around campus, and it's really nice though. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you can take away something from it. And like I said in my other video, I'm going to be making videos of these sorts more often because of my video stabilizer that broke. So that's that, and hope you have a good rest of your weekend and a good start to your week. And it's going to be a long week for me, but just sometimes you have to take it day by day. So with that, have a nice rest of your Sunday day, and I will be back with another video.